ESTG. I know I haven't talked a lot about ESTG on this podcast. I usually talk about him when he's got new music coming out, which is something that he loves, apparently, only talking about music. So that's what we've done on this podcast. But ESTG did an interview with Bootleg Kev on his podcast. And Bootleg Kev was asking him various amounts of questions, different questions. You know, he used to play football, so he asked him about football. He apparently asked him about, what does he think about certain different things, aliens, if they exist or not. And then Bootleg Kev also asked him about his music. But here's the huge but. When Bootleg Kev started asking about the football thing, he didn't like that. So he literally got up and walked out of the interview, which I always think is corny because it's like if you didn't want to be there, if you don't want to be asked questions, just don't do the podcast. And I'm going to talk about the difference between a podcast and an interview a little bit later because there are differences. And I hate that people have blurred those lines to where podcasts are now interviews and anything on a podcast applies to interviews. That's not the case. An interview and a podcast are two totally different things. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I want to play the clip of him walking out and then what ESTG said, to that viral clip and what exactly happened.
Was that just a workout you were doing for a team?
I don't know how you see the picture. You ain't read the article that came with it.
I just saw a YouTube video where they were talking about you and I was just watching some of your high school highlights and your college shit. I saw
what YouTube video you seen?
Dude, I don't know, man. It was like a YouTube video. It showed you announcing that you're going to Indiana State and.
What's a YouTube video called?
I don't know. I just literally typed in ESTG football highlights, and I was like, damn, this dude was a beast. You played linebacker, right?
What do that got to do with music and shit right now?
No, I'm just curious because I'm a big football fan. So I'm just I'm a huge football fan, and I find it fascinating that you really have a real high level football run. You know what I'm saying? Before the rap shit took off. So yeah, I just think it's fast. But obviously a part of your story. So I know it doesn't have anything to do with what's going on right now, but. That's fair. I was going to ask you, when it comes to, I remember when you signed with Gotti, I remember the viral moment where there was just all this cash. And at that time, I feel like there was a bidding war going on for ESTG at that moment. One, what made you rock with Gotti? And what is something over the last 2 or 3 years that you have learned?
So ESTG walked off the set, as you guys heard and watched, and immediately, of course, ESTG was getting backlash because people were saying, oh, Bootleg Kev was asking about the football thing, so it made it seem like he wasn't a street guy because he got a scholarship, quote unquote. So a lot of people were throwing that his way, and then ESTG decided to get on Instagram and address the whole situation, and this is what he had to say. He tagged Bootleg Kev and said this: "You trying to play it like I walked out because of the football, like Ain't did plenty of interviews talking about playing and talk about it in my music. You asking me if I remembered an old man porn star, if I believe in aliens and the NFL Combine, ? What the fuck do that got to do with my album dropping Friday? And I literally just walked out that interview 2 hours ago. You already got the clip up. You trying to go viral? LOL. 100. I got real life shit going on. Ask around. I don't feel like playing, so please don't play with me because I play crazy." Yeah, he's saying now, yo, I'm a gangster here, man. Don't play with me, not trying to make me seem like I ain't no gangster. The crazy thing is, though, if you actually watch the interview, Bootleg Kev does ask him about the music, and he doesn't really respond in a cool way. It's I don't know, he's clearly on some type of drugs, or he just doesn't care to be there for the interview. So here's the clip of Bootleg Kev asking ESTG about music. And this is his response to the interview.
Welcome, though, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, I just saw your new video. You've been dropping hella records. I mean, we've been waiting on a new album, so I know that is what is coming. You're not dropping all this music for nothing.
Right.
Album is done?
Friday.
Friday is coming? Are you, in the studio all the fucking time, or do you yo, this week I'm just knocking out a bunch of shit, and then I'm going to go do shows, I'm going to go get my bag? What is your, creative process like?
I'm always getting money.
That's such a dumb response. It sounds like he's drugged out of his mind. Bootleg Kev's asked, what's your, creative process like? Always get money. Come on, bro. Like, let's be honest here, man. A lot of you new rappers are drug addicts that need help, seriously need help, like badly need help, because this is ridiculous. A lot of new rappers showing up late to interviews, not answering questions, drugged out of their mind. That's not professional in any way, shape, or form. And shame on his team for allowing him to show up like that. There are a lot of older generation artists, very professional, showed up on time. Matter of fact, 50 Cent is one of them. If you watch the Get Rich or Die Trying documentary, shameless plug, a lot of people say that. Always professional, showed up on time, showed up earlier than a lot of people, made sure he got what he needed to get done and gets out of there. Doesn't waste time for people. Now, there were a lot of older artists that used to waste time, like DMX. That was one of the people. But act more professional, man. You are a huge artist, not even just a rapper. You're an artist. Respect people's time. When people ask you questions, answer them. If you don't want them answered, on to the next question. That simple. But when you show up like that, drugged out of your mind, not even being able to answer a fucking question, honestly, it's stupid, man. ESTG, do better. If you were here doing an interview with me, see, that's the thing, man. I don't let bullshit fly. Like, I'm going to be 100% honest. This is going to be one of the roughest, toughest podcasts to sit down with, because if you're an artist and I know your history really well and you bullshit me, I'm going to check you on that. And I expect artists to check me back if I get information wrong, like the Kid thing. I got a little bit of information wrong with the Squad Up mixtapes. He checked me on it. I was like, yeah, you're right. I messed up on that. So that's the thing. If you're going to show up drugged out, don't even show up for the interview. And here's what I was talking about earlier about the lines being blurred between a podcast and an interview. This is clearly the Bootleg Kev podcast. In my opinion, and I think a lot of people share this opinion, a podcast is multiple topics. It's a conversation. So it can go from music to aliens to sports to whatever, politics, whatever the hell you guys want to talk about. That's a podcast. An interview, to me, feels like more of a promo run, more of a strict type of style where they specifically talk about certain things, and that's it. They don't talk about anything outside of, conversational talk, like aliens and whatever the case may be. Clearly, ESTG wasn't feeling that conversational talk. He was there just to talk about his album. He might have got offended the fact that Bootleg Kev didn't know he was dropping the album this Friday, because in that clip right there that I just played, he says, what's up with the new music? I see you dropping stuff. Are you dropping something soon? And he's like, yeah, Friday. So literally this week. So Bootleg Kev could have done a better job in doing better research, because that is disrespectful. If you have a guest come, know that they're dropping a project, man. That's probably why they're there promoting. So, the fact that Bootleg Kev didn't know that, he needs to do his research better. So a little bit falls on him as well, but 80% of it falls on ESTG. Show up more professional, show up on time. Don't walk out of interviews because you're a crybaby about questions. That's the thing. And a lot of these artists, this is why they don't remain relevant for a long time, because they treat people like shit and they don't give a fuck. And then they wonder why they fell off and that the media is not fucking with them anymore because of dumb shit like this. So sorry to go off like that, but it's annoying because I've dealt with it when I was interviewing a long time ago an artist who I'm not going to name. He was an asshole, but he is nowhere near relevant right now. He fell the fuck off the face of the earth. And the only reason I'm saying that, I usually don't disrespect artists that fall off. I usually don't care. I treat them with respect, always mention them with respect. But this artist was just a complete asshole to me. I'm sure to other people. So, that shit spreads around and people just stop messing with you, man. People are like, yo, I don't want to deal with this guy. Who does this guy think he is? God? Like, it's ridiculous. So, ESTG, do better, man. Don't walk out of interviews. Show up on time. Show up sober so you can answer the questions, because it's sad, man. A lot of these new artists are literal drug addicts. That's all they are. They're walking around junkies just with money and fame. That's all it is, man. If you saw this guy across the street drugged out of his mind talking like that, you'd be like, yeah, he's a junkie. That's all he is. He's a famous musician that's a junkie. And you could tell, man, a lot of these artists, when they're doing these newer artists, at least, when they're doing these interviews, they're mumbling, they're slurring, they're not even knowing what the fuck, where they're even at, bro. So do better, guys, especially rappers. If you come on my podcast drugged out of your fucking mind, who can't even keep a conversation going, I will literally stop it. I will tell them, every manager, every person that's here, hey, this is not going good. He's not even answering the questions. I don't want to do this anymore. It's that simple, man. Bootleg Kev, when he asked those questions and he wasn't answering them properly, That would have been the perfect time for me to cue, been like, I'm not interested in this interview anymore. You can leave. And that's it. You'll never probably come back again, but fuck it. That's how you want to show up. Maybe in the future you clean up, get sober, you apologize, come back on the platform, because Bootleg Kev worked hard for his shit. Everybody who has their own platform work hard for their shit. So show up with respect. Respect my time. I respect your time. We get things done. Make it happen. Boom. You get great promo. I get great promo. We both win. We both look good. That's simple, man. So sorry for going on that crazy rant, but ridiculous. And then he has the nerve to be saying what he's saying. So, yeah. ESTG, do better.